I don't understand the reference to sand. Maybe whoever wrote this recipe has never been to a beach. Nothing about this reminds me of sand, but it's delicious. Hi friends, welcome back to the 52 Sunday Dinner series. Today we are working on dinner 34. On the menu today we have meatloaf with peas and carrot sauce, mashed potatoes, cheese cauliflower, Parker House rolls, lettuce and cucumbers with Thousand Island dressing, strawberry shortcake with meringue, sand cookies, of course coffee, and this time we have grape juice. If this is your first time joining us, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Ashley. I'm a registered dietitian, and I'm combining two of the big loves in my life, food and vintage, to bring you this series. We're working through the Women's World Book of Sunday Dinners from the 1920s, where we're recreating a different Sunday dinner menu each week. Today we're going to be prepping the rolls, the raspberry shortcake, and the sand cookies. So let's get started. How cool they expect cool to be, but this feels pretty lukewarm to me, so we'll go ahead and add that yeast. I didn't have a yeast cake, so we just used loose yeast, a little over 2 tablespoons of it. Okay, so I'm guessing this is just mostly the feeder for the yeast, and it says to let it double. There's no way, if this has to double, that this bowl is going to hold all of that without creating a larger mess than I've already made so far. So we're transferring it into a larger bowl here. We will set it aside and then start in on our sand cookies while that doubles. Whoopsie poopsie, I forgot the sour cream, so we're gonna retroactively add that in, and then we will add the rest of the flour to make this a dough that can be rolled out, and we will also add the flavoring of the nutmeg and the orange to this. I'm wondering, with the nutmeg and the orange, will this taste like Christmas? We will find out here shortly. This is supposed to be dinner for 6 people, and we have a cake in addition to these cookies? How many cookies were they eating? Were they sending these cookies to neighbors? What was going on here? Why are they making so much dessert for 6 people? It is growing. I think I'm gonna have to break this in half and roll it out because there's way too much dough here. How thick do you think these suckers are supposed to be? I think we'll do this batch a little bit thicker, and the next batch, maybe not that thick. The next batch we'll do a little bit thinner and see which ones turn out better, I guess. As I previously mentioned, I am for sure a cook and not a baker. It doesn't say if the cookie sheet should be greased or not greased. It says a hot oven. I'm gonna say 350. It also says to use small circles. I don't know if this is small, medium, or large. I don't know how much these are going to spread. I guess we're going to find out the answer to all of these things that I'm unsure of together. Okay, they've been cooling for like 20 seconds, so I don't want to wait to try them because it's a warm cookie out of the oven. It smells really good. It looks like it's mostly done, I suppose. It doesn't look doughy in the middle. I don't understand the reference to sand. Maybe whoever wrote this recipe has never been to a beach. Nothing about this reminds me of sand, but it's delicious. I think this is doubled in size. I probably should have marked it somewhere on the side to see, but this is the size it is. This is where we're going with, and we're gonna start making our rolls now. Okay, we're taking a break on this dough here because I just pulled the second round out of the oven and they're a little less done. I prefer my cookies to be a little doughy in the middle, and these definitely look a tiny bit more doughy, so we're gonna try these ones. I like these ones way better. They're not quite done in the middle. If you like yours like that cakey sugar cookie kind of texture, leaving them in a little bit longer or making them a little thinner is probably better. If you like yours still a little bit raw and gooey in the middle, maybe like 8 minutes and a little bit thicker. This is delicious. I think we're getting to a consistency that is now a soft dough that can be handled and kneaded. There's no way that's going to be enough. We might have to just cut this down to one layer in this small one because there is no chance that this is going to be enough. It's supposed to be in 2 layers, and this is a relatively small sized cake pan, and it's not even covering the bottom. Did these women not test these recipes out ahead of time? There's no way that that's enough batter for 2 separate layer pans. What were they using, cupcake size pans? This recipe would need to be like quadrupled for this to work out. These measurements just don't make sense. For 6 people, the sand cookies made like 2 or 3 dozen cookies, and this cake that's supposed to serve 6 people doesn't even make enough for 1 cake. I was about to get these rolls started. It hasn't been that long, but it kind of smells like the cake is burning already, so I think I'm gonna check on that. Okay, yeah, that's definitely pretty golden brown. I have a feeling on the bottom it's going to be burnt. So again, not very high hopes for this one. I have here the floured end of a spoon, a wooden spoon. I'm supposed to press that into this, divide it in half, fold it over, and put it in this baking dish. I am just going to assume that I know what they're saying. I have no idea. I guess in half. Fold it like a little pierogi and put it in here like that. That doesn't make sense to me. Okay. I know I have to be doing something very obviously wrong here. I just don't know what it is. It certainly doesn't look appetizing. Put it on here and mash it up and squish it. If the layers had been any smaller, there's no way all of these berries would have fit on the size of that layer. This recipe does not make any sense. This is supposed to have a second layer of cake in between this raspberry and this other layer. So this meringue should be sitting on top of just a cake layer. And then we should drop whole berries on top of that. So I guess you can imagine what that would look like. Okay, we have this little piece. Cutting into it, the texture felt okay. But let's see what the flavor is like. Doesn't really smell like anything. The texture is almost reminiscent of a shortcake as well. Like a really dry, maybe stale shortcake.
Although this cake was terrible, it will not go to waste because you know who will eat it?
So these rolls look kind of stupid the way they are, and I'm really thinking I should have set them up vertically like this, but they smell amazing. It broke in half the way I had it folded. I don't know if you can see the steam coming off of that. I should probably wait to try this because it's so hot. Oh, yeah, look at that. This is really good. We need to try it with butter. This is phenomenal. All right, everyone, it is dinner day. We are going to quickly get into our main meal, which is the meatloaf and all of the sides for that. Yesterday, we did our desserts and our rolls, which we tried yesterday as well, so that won't come to dinner today. I guess that's not so bad. But, ooh, breaking it open is, holy moly. We're going with large chunks, and that's just what we're gonna have to, that's what we're gonna deal with. 2 tablespoons butter and 2 of flour. I assume they mean 2 tablespoons flour. They could mean cups, like the milk prior to. It also says to cook this all together. Well, it doesn't even say cook, does it? It just says make a sauce. Make a thick white sauce of a cup of milk, 2 tablespoons butter, and 2 of flour. I am pretty sure anytime I've ever made a thick white sauce, it's been the roux first and then the milk after. So that's what we're doing. It didn't specify what type of cheese to use. I decided to go with cheddar. Hopefully that is scant enough. I couldn't find regular garden peas anywhere that were fresh and not frozen. So we're going with sugar snap peas. I don't know if a pint of sugar snap peas translates to a pint of the peas that they're referring to, but we're gonna go with what we know and work with these. It wants me to add a cup of milk to a cup of the liquid that this was cooked in, but there's only a 1/4 cup left. I don't know if I should add more water to this or if I should just use that much water and a cup of milk. I think I'm just gonna use what's here and go with a cup of milk, and once I mash it, if it seems like it needs more, I'll add a little bit of water. So here is my dilemma or question. I think I have the answer already, but the peas and carrot sauce, and there's my first clue, it's a sauce. Nowhere does it say to mash it. It says to cook it until it could be mashed, but it says to just add that stuff into the peas and carrots. Nowhere does it say to mash those peas and carrots into a sauce, but it's a sauce, so I probably have to mash it. Yes, that's what we're gonna do. Well, that's not mashing with a fork. We'll get a potato masher. My diced carrots are like the size of the holes of my masher, so that's pretty useless. Okay, maybe the fact that they aren't mashing super well on their own means I should add some of this liquid to it. Right now, before all the colors melt together into like probably a baby poop color, the green and the orange are kind of pretty together. Let's try this. Come out the bottom? No, not at all. Man, how am I supposed to make this into a sauce? I just remembered that I do in fact have a sieve here. I don't have the cone pusher, whatever this thing is, but I do have the one from my KitchenAid attachment, so we're gonna use that and hope that it works, and we're gonna try this method. Ah, that's really splashy. What is wrong with you vegetables? Just mash up. I think this pusher just isn't thick enough. We are working with a last resort workaround, more modern workaround. I think with that sieve, if I had had the correct cone pusher thing, this would have started coming out and blending, but there just wasn't enough pressure, so we're gonna go with the immersion blender and make this a sauce. And voila, the meal is ready. Now, I feel like the salad should be first because that's what I'm used to, that's my preference, but they want the meatloaf with the sauce first. The color of the sauce is much more orange than I expected. I expected it with the peas to be like a baby poop green brown color, but it's a really kind of a nice, pleasant, almost a harvest orange color. Let's go straight with the meatloaf first. It's got a little of this sauce on it. Smells good. It's a really good meatloaf. It's really moist. The texture's great. The flavor's great. It pairs really well with the peas and carrot sauce. The peas and carrot sauce, when I read it, it sounded horrible. When I tasted it, and I tasted it paired with this, it's really good. I thought it was gonna taste a little bit like eating baby food or something with that peas and carrots pureed together. I thought it was gonna be really unpleasant. It's not at all. It's sweet. I know there's a little bit of sugar that we added to it, but the sweetness of those carrots and the peas, and they were sugar snap peas too, so maybe that changed a little bit of it. But this is delicious. I would eat this all day. And potatoes. It tastes like mashed potatoes. And let's try out this cauliflower. We get a little bit of the crunchy cheese top. This is okay. The cheese didn't really melt with the sauce and in with the cauliflower. It kind of just sits on top with the breadcrumbs and it got just kind of dried out. I think I would have much preferred it mixed in with that, like the white sauce, and instead of having the white sauce with cheese on top to make it an actual cheese sauce. I think it would have been much better that way. Try it with some of this grape juice. I don't know that I would pair any of these things with grape juice, but it tastes good. It tastes like delicious grape juice, but I find it an odd pairing with this stuff. Our salad with our Thousand Island dressing. The chili sauce, I don't know if chili sauce, maybe it was just the brand that I bought. I bought Heinz brand chili sauce, which They are notoriously known for their ketchup. It smelled and tasted exactly like ketchup. I don't know if that's what chili sauce is supposed to taste like, but I don't have super high hopes for this, but we'll try it out. It's okay. Kind of just tastes like if you tried to take ketchup and make it into a salad dressing. I don't really like ketchup, so this isn't doing it for me. Maybe if I would have used a different chili sauce or maybe a homemade chili sauce, that would be great. Overall, this meal, pretty excellent. Thank you so much for joining me this week. If you liked what you saw, please consider liking and subscribing to this channel so that I can bring you more awesome content just like this. Join us next week where we are making a plethora of things, including pineapple mayonnaise. Tune in to find out what that turns out like. Why so many cookies and rolls? This recipe made 3 dozen cookies and 4 dozen rolls for dinner for 6 people. I know they are probably eating these later on throughout the week and it saves time. Like, how many rolls and cookies are these people eating the rest of the week before they go stale?